Welcome back to Block Talk. I'm Cale Teeter.
And I'm Chris Segura.
And today we're going to continue our series talking about some of the more advanced features in the VS Code extension that we've released. And in past episodes, we've talked a little bit about the data publishing aspects that we have in there and some of the features that we have in there to integrate with like a legacy database or something of that nature. And today we're going to focus a little bit more on events and some of the features that come along with that. So as things are happening in the blockchain, a lot of times people want to actually react to things that are happening up there. So a particular transaction might happen, and based on some input of that transaction, we could raise an event on the blockchain, and we also want to basically marshal that call over to maybe an existing service bus, event hub, these type of models to start integrating with other systems that are not really blockchain aware.
Yep, they're basically almost two different types of programming models that we're creating here. One is an event-driven programming, right? And the other is sort of message-based programming models. Let's go ahead and jump to the screen here. If you've seen in the previous episode of Block Talk, we showed how to compile, deploy, do a whole bunch of things with contracts. Here you see I've done the same. I've already deployed this contract to an Azure Blockchain Service instance. What I want to do now is let's go ahead and create an event publishing workflow for the smart contract. So if I click this, what's going to happen in the background is we're going to auto-generate some scaffolding for you that'll use logic apps to connect your blockchain to an event grid or a service bus topic.
So if I get this right, so I'm a blockchain developer, I'm writing some smart contracts in here, and it's looking at my smart contract now and then wrapping it with something here. Is that how this functions?
Pretty much. So what we're doing is we're looking through your smart contract, right? And if you are trying to do, like we mentioned earlier, message-based programming, like something happens in my contract, the something that happened may have different states, right? Something good happened, something bad happened, just depends on the logic I'm writing. I can send that type of message to Service Bus, and based on the message itself, let's say, I can take different actions. Something good happened, that's great. Something bad happened, I notify somebody else, right?
Great.
Yep. So let's go ahead and generate this. So if you go through the event publishing workflow, and it's really the same workflow in kind of all four of these things, you'll see it look very familiar here. I can pick flow apps or logic apps. Today I'll pick a flow app. Today I'll pick a logic app. I need a contract address, and again, I will use the deployed contract address because I want to interact with something that's already deployed. So we'll cut and paste that information here. We ask you for your subscription. We ask you for your resource group. And then here you need a topic name, right? So let's call it block.
So this is where it's a little bit different from previous ones we showed. So this is like very context sensitive. So it knows that I'm interested in events. So it's asking me for a topic that relates to a service bus queue or something like that.
Yeah, exactly, right? So if you're familiar with how service bus works, I can monitor a specific topic, right? There may be many topics coming through service bus, and I'm only interested in this one. So here I'm publishing a message to a specific topic that somebody presumably is listening to later.
Great.
So insert your topic, doesn't matter what it is. Here, again, you can create different types of connections. Today we'll use service bus. Again, event grid is more of an event-driven process. And here, again, you see real simple, generates a logic app. You see here, single file with a whole bunch of JSON in it. We showed in a previous episode where if you cut and paste this JSON into a blank logic app template, you'll get something that looks like this. And in this episode, we've already sort of made some of the back-end connections. Make sure you have the right endpoint address for your service bus. But what we've created is something that looks like this. I have a Ethereum logic app connector that is looking for all smart contract events. You see here, it's got everything already pre-populated, the ABI, the smart contract address. And then we're connecting to a service bus, which when I open it, give us a second, you see I'm sending a whole bunch of information into service bus. I'm sending to the topic we created a session ID. And the reason we send a session ID is so that you can track these messages, right? So you have a unique identifier for all messages and that you can look them up later. And then we're just giving you the state data. So real simple way to take events and publish them to a service bus or event grid topic.
Super cool. So we can actually take some of the data. So in the events themselves in Solidity in our smart contract, we can actually pack data into there. So we can send more than just saying, "Hey, this thing happened." We can actually pack some context into that.
Absolutely, exactly. You can get quite advanced and quite intelligent programming model just based on, or programming events just based on this simple model.
Super cool. So I hope folks can see how this could be useful for you. Definitely this is something that our customers are asking for, saying we need more things that can be able to react to these new systems that we're building on blockchain and be able to integrate with our existing legacy systems. And I think this is showcasing a great way to do that. So hopefully people can take advantage of this. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at MSFT Blockchain, and thanks for watching.
Thank you.